Opposition leader Aaron O'Toole called it absolutely unacceptable. He was responding to the 3 days since the Bearskin Lake First Nation asked Ottawa for military aid. But as of yet, not a single soldier has arrived in the community.
The military has been a crucial peaking resource to help make sure that our healthcare system doesn't get overstrained. They shouldn't have to beg and plead for deployment of the Canadian Armed Forces. The government and the minister should be on top of this.
More than 50% of the community's 400 residents are infected with the Omicron variant, and its leaders say they simply don't have enough healthy people to perform the simplest of tasks, such as getting wood to homes for heat or delivering food to elders. The NDP has sent a letter to Emergency Preparedness Minister Bill Blair demanding to know what is going on. MP Charlie Angus calls the situation outrageous.
They're watching this community get hammered with Omicron, completely overrun, reaching out to the federal government and saying, we need some help here. And they're getting the runaround. They're getting these ridiculous responses. The latest I heard was, well, they didn't fill out the forms properly, or they didn't officially ask us.
Indigenous Services says it has sent over $1 million to the Bearskin Lake First Nation to help deal with the crisis. The government says it is working with the community to find out what and how many people it needs to help. But Angus says it is not enough. And if this were a major Canadian city, the military would have been there long ago.
You know, the mayor of Toronto called the army to come in and shovel the sidewalks for Torontonians so they could get to work, and the Canadian Army showed up. Meanwhile, we had a COVID crisis in Saskatchewan that we begged the Army and Minister Bill Blair for weeks and weeks and weeks to get help. And by the time they came in, it was completely, the community had been completely overrun. And in that time, the public had stepped up. And it's the same thing in Bearskin Lake.
Ottawa says Ontario must make the request to send the military to Bearskin Lake. APTN News asked Ontario Minister of Indigenous Affairs Greg Rickford if such a request was being acted upon, but we did not receive a response by broadcast time. Fraser Needham, APTN National News, Ottawa.